I'm going to go ahead and start. My name is Brian Biggs. I'm the chairman of the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. Tonight's moderator. This forum is sponsored by the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce, which has been sponsoring this event for decades. So we appreciate everybody that's come in the past as well. Let me review the guidelines for this forum. This event is nonpartisan and meant to educate and inform the voting public on the candidates and their ability to perform the tasks of the office of which they wish to hold. All formal candidates running in opposed races were invited to attend this evening's event. Due to the fluid nature of write-in candidates, they could not be reasonably included in this forum, although we recommend these questions to all candidates. Audience members are asked to hold applause while candidates are speaking. I'm going to repeat that. Audience members are asked to hold applause while candidates are speaking. We encourage everyone to show respect to the candidates and everyone in attendance. Outbursts and yelling from the audience will not be tolerated. Those who refuse to follow these guidelines will be asked to leave. At this moment, I'll ask you to please turn your phones to silent so that we're not surprised by any phones ringing. The order of opening remarks was determined by drawing numbers. The questions asked of the candidates were submitted to the Chamber of Commerce by the public or developed by the Chamber's Legislative Committee. Only questions that are issue-based and relevant to the office the candidate wishes to hold will be used. All questions will be read to the candidates by myself, the moderator, and are not modified by the moderator. No questions will be allowed directly from an audience member to the candidates. Questions were finalized this morning and have not been provided to any candidate ahead of tonight's forum. Candidates will have 1 minute unless otherwise indicated to answer each question. The green light, and you can't see it from where you are, but there's a stop light up here the candidates can see. The green light will indicate the candidate has time to speak. The yellow light means that the candidate has 20 seconds remaining. The red light indicates that the candidate's time is over. The moderator will interrupt any candidate that continues beyond the red light time limit. Each candidate has received a red card. The card can be used only once for a 1-minute rebuttal after all candidates have responded to a particular question. Candidates wishing to use their one red card should hold it up and wait to be called on by the moderator after each candidate has answered the current question. Each candidate will open with a 1-minute speech for introduction and close with another 2-minute speech for closing remarks. Closing remarks may be used for a pre-prepared speech or to speak to any of the questions brought up during tonight's event. If candidates are here but no opposing candidate arrives, that sole candidate will have 2 minutes to comment on why they are a good choice for the office they have chosen to run for. Sole candidates must not disparage or challenge views of absent candidates because absent candidates are not present to respond. That is the case in 2 of tonight's races. This evening we have Mr. John Stanmeyer. He's one of the 2 candidates running for 1 seat in Shenandoah District, Warren County. The winner will serve a 4-year term, and we'll invite Mr. Stanmeyer up now for his 2-minute statement.
Thank you, Brian. Hi, I'm John Stanmeyer, candidate for Shenandoah District Supervisor. I grew up in Virginia, attended public schools here, graduated in economics from UVA, and have worked in the corporate world as a data and economics guy. My family and I have been in Front Royal about 7 years, coming from a rural farmette in Percival where we raised free-range chickens and goats. Speaking of animals, I need to tackle the elephant in the room. We need to have a fully funded library, and it's good to hear that a deal is getting closer. The book's made for sensational news, and yes, some of them belong in the new adult section. But the much broader, though more mundane issue is about accountability and governance. Every private contractor to the county, from the Humane Society to the library, needs an MOA calling out the scope of work and service levels, creating transparency and responsiveness. My campaign is about good governance, and making sure that our taxpayers, families, and small businesses are given primary consideration in county decision making so that another EDA scandal never happens again, that county dealings are transparent, and that the people are represented. I've spoken at many, many hearings on many, many topics, from the Rockland Golf Course rezoning to buy right data centers, both of which I vehemently opposed, by the way. I've written in the local media about getting to fairer real estate tax assessments, and privately I've written to our elected leaders about topics such as speed cameras and lithium battery electric farms. I'm interested in getting the best out of our county and for our county, whether that means efficient sanitary district services, expanding tourism and recreational opportunities such as the rail trail, or making sure our schools are as safe and successful as those I remember, training our first responders. We need to support competent governance, protect our small town feel, our rural open spaces and river, support local small businesses and builders over national builders, renew our blighted areas, and ensure our growth is measured, thoughtful, and intentional.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. John Stanmeyer, thank you very much. We also have State Senator Virginia Race. There are two candidates, Mr. Timmy French and Miss Emily Scott. Mr. Timmy French is unable to attend, so we allow Miss Emily Scott a 2-minute statement. Please come forward.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this event. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to get our ideas out there and speak to you all. And you know, it's occurred to me on the campaign trail that there are 3 issues that most people care about. They care about a safe place to live, a good job to pay for it, and they really want their kids to have a better life than they had. And I would really like to stand here and talk to you about how we're going to address those things. Because there are lots of things that can be done at the state level to help people achieve those goals. And I'd like to go into detail about safe and efficient transportation, affordable housing, the rising cost of college tuition, and how we're going to deal with that. But right now we're in a situation where our freedoms are at stake. The current governor's agenda includes a 15-week abortion ban. And that seriously impinges a woman's right to choose her own health care. And I'm very much in favor of a woman being able to handle her own health issues between her and her doctor, as opposed to having government interference. And so our freedom to choose our own health care is seriously at stake. You can't have one set of laws for men, one set of laws for women. It's unconstitutional and completely unfair. Another thing our governor has done, he's pulled us out of the regional greenhouse gas initiative, which goes to show he really doesn't seem to care much about climate change. Now, people who don't believe in climate change, I hope you enjoyed your record hot summer and the drought conditions. And that is something that is an emergency situation. If we don't pay attention to climate change, we can look for more in the future and not have a backup plan on how to help people get through those things. Also, my Republican opponents are very interested in getting rid of the red flag laws. The red flag laws keep domestic violence perpetrators from owning firearms. It's a pretty good idea, right? Who thinks they should have weapons? But my opponents want to get rid of that. So therefore, that kind of impinges on our freedom to walk around safely. Also, the governor has not been a friend of public schools and has underfunded our public schools. So I'm a big friend of public schools. And thank you for hosting this event.
Thank you, Ms. Scott.
Well, I get 2 minutes. How about that?
Yeah, that's on.
Yeah, I get 2 minutes from everybody. We've got a redistricting problem. Whenever they redistricted this time, they took the last 2 precincts in Warren County and they gave them to another district. And I'm the delegate candidate for District 33. So how many here live in Browntown or live out in Bentonville? Well, then I'm going to be the candidate's name on your ballot when you go in to vote.
Can you give your name, please?
And my name is Bob Smith, Bob W. Smith, because if you try and get online for Bob Smith, you're going to get a bunch of people, good and bad. So it's a very difficult thing to do. I have to tell you, I'm currently also the secretary of the Shenandoah County Democratic Party, and I've been working very hard. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I taught for more than 20 years in the school system here in Virginia. And my wife and I retired. We're settled up in Edinburgh right now. We have 7 children that we raised, and that meant we have 24 grandchildren and 17 great-grandchildren. So when we get together, we rent the pavilion in Strasbourg, and that's how we can all keep together. So anytime you come by in Strasbourg and you see me with a bunch of kids running around, you'll know that's my group. At any rate, yes, I do. I agree that we need to have this business of banning books is a distraction from the more important issues that we've got. I've been following very carefully the Samuels situation. There should never be any banning books. Yes, you can sit back and separate books, you can separate them in there, but you can't sit back there and ban people from reading it, because then you might say, I don't like what's in the Bible, let's ban the Bible. And you can go on and ban something else. And this happened back over in Europe whenever Hitler was around. We don't want to get down that road. We don't need to be down that road. Parents should have say, absolutely. Parents should be able to go to the library, sit down and say, this is a book, and challenge a book, that's fine. And then let's get it and separate it accordingly. So those are the 2 things that really, get my eye.
State your name one more time.
I am Bob W. Smith. And
And the position you're running for?
and I'm running for delegate in District 33.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
for your
Thank
time.
you very much.